With Iconasys. Today we'll be doing a real-time workflow video communicating 360 jewelry photography. We are working with our Shutter Stream 360 software, Canon camera, our jewelry photography light box, and our jewelry photography turntable. And I'll include more information in the description below. So I've enabled a live view, and that's actually a real-time preview of what my camera sees. As you can see, my finger. And what I've tried to do is just kind of relatively close, position my camera so that it's shooting at the center of the turntable, and that's kind of the master turntable top. Users do receive multiple different tops in colors black and white. I'm just going to place a white top over top of that, and what I'm going to do is place my object, and while I'm looking back at my real-time preview, what I want to do is just kind of get my object so that it is relatively close to the actual center of the actual turntable. Alright, so let's say that looks pretty good there. Let's not worry about it being blurry. I'm going to enter into my 360 button up here, and what that allows me to do is pre-rotate my turntable, and this is a very big benefit of kind of the live view, seeing able to see stuff before you kind of get started in your 360 shooting, because what we can kind of see there is that our object is slightly off center. So I'm just going to move my object back just a tad. And let me pre-rotate it again. And visually I'm just watching here to see that, okay, is my object positioned correctly in the center of the turntable? Is it spinning on axis? And looks like we're doing pretty good there. But I'm going to make just a small little adjustment, and watching right here, and now it looks like we're doing a much better job with our object spinning on axis. So what we're going to do is go ahead and stop our turntable at our first shooting angle. Maybe that'll be kind of our straight on angle there, and we can go ahead and adjust our turntable and kind of nudge it. Maybe this one, it looks like it over rotated a tad, so I'm going to move my turntable 2 degrees counterclockwise. Let's do that a few times, so it's looking pretty good there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to see, it looks a little bit blurry. I can go ahead and zoom in nice and up close, and we can see that we've missed our focal point, but what I can do is using these arrows, I can drive my lens and the focal point and kind of bring stuff back into focus. So just through one little click there, I've kind of set my focal point. And kind of our next step will be to kind of pre-compose this image. I'm going to place a front door cover over top of the studio here, the front door opening. And you can see I've kind of cut out a little hole. And we have full control over our camera settings. So it looks a little bit exposed there, overexposed. So what I'm probably going to do is start to make some slight adjustments here. Maybe we'll shoot it at about kind of 1/30th of a second. Let's just do a pre-snap, and one thing I can do is pre-crop my subject, say only take a picture of what's inside this area that I just defined. So we will do that pre-snap there, and that's looking quite good. So, and the last thing that we're going to do here is we're going to want to pre-rotate our turntable. So I'm going to say rotate it 360 degrees. And we're going to move it clockwise again here because that's the direction I'm going to want to shoot in. And while I'm pre-rotating, what I do here visually is to ensure that my object doesn't fall outside of this crop area that I defined. And that there's kind of an even crop on either side, top, bottom, left, and right of my subject. So that's overall looking pretty good there. So now we're going to want to go into our shooting. I'm going to slow down the turntable just so that my object won't slide in between shots. I'm going to add something called a capture delay. So it'll be turn, stop, wait. In this case, 1 second, and then capture, just so that if the ring would shake at all between start and stop, it'll kind of counteract for that. And then I can define my number of frames. With this turntable, you can shoot up to 6,400 frames. It is very precise. For the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to shoot 120. Let me just go ahead and delete that previous image that would capture. And I'm just going to hit my start button, and that's going to automate the process for me in a turn, stop, snap workflow. And as these images are captured, they're going to be uploaded into the computer, into the application where we can actually see the results. Alright, so now that we've completed our image capture, we can go through and inspect the images. If we needed to, we could go and reshoot an individual frame. I'm going to skip that step. I'm going to assume that everything's good, which I will say 99.9% of the time it is. We're going to enter into our editing tools. And inside of our editing tools, we've got a lot of different features and functionality inside of here that range from image enhancement to background removal. My goal here is to make this with a pure white background and just to kind of maybe increase and enhance image quality just a tad. So let's go ahead and get started with that process. First thing I want to do, inspect the background. You can see an RGB value up here. We can see this is not pure white, nor is it close to pure white. And we can kind of see the problems here. That was actually the front door. We caught a little bit of that, so let's go ahead and cut that out. We're going to grab our polygon lasso tool, and we're going to do a nice cutout. Probably about something like this looks pretty good. And I do want to get rid of kind of this side part of the door too. So what I can do there is let's just go and cut around the outside here. And I'm just going to double click to connect the points, and I'm going to hit apply to all. And what that's going to do is I can choose it to replace it with the solid color. I'm just going to make that color pure white, and I'll hit apply. Alright, now our next change is going to be, if we want to adjust that gray to white, we could do it using our levels tool. We can see here I can just start to drag my right reference point. If you double click on that, you can see a number at about 194. That actually looks quite good there. Let me just inspect it now, and we can see we're a little bit off white again. I'm just watching up in the top right hand corner. You can see we're slightly off, so I might just drag this just a bit. I'll go down to about 188. Hit enter. And that's looking good. And now I'm just going to add some kind of color back into the ring using my left reference point and then also the midtones. So it looks pretty good there. Now what I want to do is just increase my sharpness just a tad. And again, in a batch process, I can apply these changes. So I'll just hit apply to all. Okay, now we've completed that process. What I want to do is go ahead and output these. So I'm just going to rename my file. I'll just call it Silver Ring. Choose to resize. I can do that again in the batch process. So batch renaming, resizing. Choose your output location. You hit OK. Now that's output all the images. We're going to open up our 360 view. And here we can see the interactive 360 product view file that we had created very fast and efficiently. If you have any questions, the company name is Iconasys. Let us know. Thank you.